activity. So you're getting a little bit huffed and puffed, but you can still say, yeah, John, da-da-da, the weather's nice, and you can still get, start getting a little bit sweaty. Vigorous activity, on the other hand, you couldn't sing or you couldn't talk. So if you're going for a real big sprint, you couldn't talk to somebody because all the energy is expending to do the activity. So that's an easy way to see what type of activity, level of activity you're doing. And we definitely recommend to begin with moderate physical activity because it's the safest physical activity. Because with some types of vigorous activity, not all, but some of them are what we call high impact. So high impact is if we're raising 2 feet off the ground, so if we're jumping, that's high impact, which can affect our joints. So anybody with any joint problems, we would definitely recommend moderate physical activity. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to use your muscles. So the other thing we should be doing on top of the cardiovascular exercise is what we call resistance exercises. So those are strength exercises, you're working the muscles. So it could be something as simple as sitting on a chair and doing some leg raising your legs. It could be something like taking your hands here and slowly pushing up, doing modified press-ups. It doesn't have to be heavy weightlifting at all. It could be twisting the body and holding it. It could be holding what we call isometric. If your shoulders are okay, to hold and keep it there, you're still building muscle. So anything like that, we do recommend about twice a week, if you can, once you've got the cardiovascular exercise going. And if you remember, I said about the muscles being more metabolically active, they are taking that glucose up even quicker. So if we can do resistance exercises as well, it's such a key. I think traditionally, especially as ladies, I used to work in health clubs in London, and people would come for weight loss, and we'd design a program for them, and we'd get them on the cardio, so we'd get them on the cross trainer and the rowers and the bike and maybe the treadmill, and then they would be wanting to go home, and I was, no, hang on, we're going to go to the resistance machines. And they were like, oh no, I don't want to bulk up, I don't want to get all bulky, I'm going to build muscle over my fat and I'm going to get all bulky. And that's a misconception. It's definitely not the case. We can build long, lean muscles and be really strong even with resistance exercise. But obviously we want to do it in a safe environment. Other things you guys can do at home is little, what we call resistance bands. I don't know if you've seen them in the physios. Little stretchy bands. They are absolutely fantastic as long as you're doing it in a safe way. You can work your whole body and using the bands. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with your legs. You can do stomach exercise. There's all sorts of things. So there's so many options, but it's often about knowing what to do, how to do it, having the motivation, having the confidence, and having the time. So I think time is a big issue for a lot of people. We're busy lives, kids, grandkids, work, other commitments, and we just don't have the time. So you can even do little bits here and there. So some people, you say you could do 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there, park at the end of the shopping centre so you have to walk, take the lift instead of the stairs. If you're going on public transport, get off the bus a few minutes earlier, a few stops earlier. All these types of things that we can do to increase the daily activities really can make a difference and hopefully can help lower your guys' sugar levels. Any questions so far, guys? I know I do talk quite quickly, so please stop me.
Is this over and above what you do normally on a day?
So it depends on if you're getting to moderate activity. So if you are just...
I'm still working and it's quite physical. When you were saying about the exercises, arms, legs, everything.
So you're doing quite heavy lifting?
Physically, yes.
Yeah. So this is the trick, this is the scary thing with the body. A very good point. Our bodies get used to what we're doing. So if I did what you did, it would be a hard workout for me. And I'd be like, I don't need to go to the gym because it's a hard workout. Your body's adapted to what you're doing. So for you, possibly, it would need to look at some different things to challenge your body. So maybe the lifting, so you've got the resistance down, but maybe some more cardiovascular exercise to get the blood pumping.
Well, I kayak, which is what gives me...
Brilliant. So you're doing the right thing then. You've got the good balance. But some people do the opposite. So some people are doing the cardiovascular exercise. So maybe like the postie's getting on his bike and he's cycling and he's doing quite good cardiovascular exercise. But he also starting to put on weight because his body's used to doing that. And maybe he's not going fast enough and he's not utilising the upper body muscles. And if we're not using the upper body, especially the stomach and the lower back, then we're not going to start losing this weight enough around our middles. Okay, so just a little bit of stats, guys. So they say that physical activity as part of everyday life is declining. We've already spoke about that, and I'm sure you guys completely understand why that occurs. Next things I say is when all sources of activity are taken into account, only 37% of men and 24% of women are meeting, and this in the UK, are meeting a health recommended guidelines for physical activity. So that's actually about 2/3 of the population are not exercising enough. 2/3 of the population aren't. So that's a huge amount of people. And so we're really, really passionate about trying to help people get active, because as you heard, there's numerous health benefits. And this is quite an interesting one, but they say the proportion of people engaging in any physical activity declines after the age of 35. So that to me is quite scary, because we are living longer. You know, there's so many medicines and all sorts of things that are keeping us living. We are living a long life. 35, we shouldn't be going downhill after 35. At anything, we should be increasing our activities, but we don't. We've got families, we've got children, we've got commitments. We're not engaging in the sports like we used to do at school or at uni. All sorts of things happen, but I'd hope if we carry on doing these talks, if I did that in 10 years' time, I hope that number would be increasing definitely. Okay, a little bit of basic science, just about the energy balance. So this is almost bringing Esther and my presentation together to show how important physical activity and nutrition are. So for the energy balance, it's all about energy in and energy out. So if we're going to maintain our weight, and this is rough general, because obviously things like metabolisms and medication can come into play, but in general, to maintain your weight, the energy in, the food we eat, needs to be equivalent to the calories we expend, so the activity, the physical activity. If that's about the same, then our weight's going to maintain. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. A lot of people are gaining weight. So what's happening is the energy in, the food, is a lot more than the activity. So as you can see, we're going to be gaining weight. So what we're hoping is, we're hoping to help people from weight gain to weight loss, where we're eating less and exercising more. And then once we get to the weight loss, which is a very hard part, we need maintenance. We need to maintain that weight loss. And this is part of my job, and it's a tricky one, is to maintain the motivation to keep the weight off. Can anybody raise hand, anybody who's yo-yo dieted before? Anybody? Yeah, and it is such a common thing. So we realise for some reason, it might be, often people say it's a wedding they're going to, or a health diagnosis, or getting on a scale that they haven't for ages, or they can't fit those jeans on, or something that happens that we're like, hang on a minute, I've had enough, I need to lose weight. So best thing to do, exercise and eat healthily. Go on like a crash diet, or fanatical exercising, or whatever they're doing. They lose some weight, feel really great, lose motivation, or maybe become a bit complacent, or other things happen, life happens, you get busy, and then the weight comes on again. And then you yo-yo between weight loss and weight gain. And often, and I don't know whether anybody can identify, often if you've lost quite a bit of weight, you often end up putting it all on again and more. And that's what we don't want. What we want to instill is healthy lifestyle changes, not fad diets. Not fad diets or crazy exercise routines. It's a lifestyle change that's maintainable, so that you can maintain that weight loss and have a good quality of life. So that's what part of my job is doing, is helping people to get the weight loss, but then also just maintain it. And we want you to enjoy it. We don't want it to be a labour, we want you to enjoy it. So there are, even though I know the food side can be quite restrictive, there are lovely foods that we can eat. So like Esther said, things like avocados and nuts and seeds and eggs and proteins and things that you can actually eat that actually are quite tasty, and certain fruits in moderation that you can have. And the exercise, once you get used to it and you find the right thing that you enjoy, can actually be very social and enjoyable too. And if you feel better about yourself, then you look better, you feel better. So, we burn calories even when we're sleeping, but it's what we do when we're awake that counts. So like I said, with our muscles being metabolically active, if you do a weight training workout, for 24 hours afterwards. Even when you're sleeping, you're burning more calories. But even an average person that's maybe not burning, not exercising a lot, they still burn calories when they sleep. So you roughly burn about 55 calories an hour because your brain's still going, isn't it? You're still processing, you're still breathing, you're dreaming, your heart's pumping, so you still need some calories while you're sleeping. But as soon as we sit up, we start burning more. So as soon as we sit up, we're engaging our core muscles to sit. We burn about 85, and then we stand up, so we're utilising our legs. And as we go along, and as we do more, we're starting to burn more and more and more and more calories. But unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, because my passion is exercise. But if we are not trying to eat healthily with the exercise, we're probably not going to burn enough calories. So we need to do them two hand in hand. So running is quite a lot of calories, 700 calories an hour, but a lot of people aren't going to go running. And obviously it's quite bad for the joints. So walking would be the greatest form of moderate physical activity at about 280 calories an hour. But if you are eating healthily as well, the calorie burn will be much greater. Okay, so as part of my job, obviously I know some of you, but I haven't met a lot of you. But what I'm doing is I'm working on what we call a social prescribing project for St Austell Healthcare. And what social prescribing is it's about trying to engage what we call primary care patients, so you guys that see our lovely doctors and nurses, and trying to get them sources of non-clinical support in the community. So helping people to source types of physical activity, nutrition support, social support, all the types of things, these great things. We've got wonderful voluntary organisations, wonderful physical activity providers in the community, but we want to help link you guys into those, and we want to support you and keep you motivated to keep the weight loss going. One of the big barriers to getting active is, like we said, is time, and the other one is cost. And that's one of my big bugbears, is how expensive some exercise classes are. So I spoke to a yoga teacher up in North Cornwall and said, oh, I'm starting this project, could you do a yoga class for my patients? And she said, oh yes, I'll charge you £9 an hour per patient. I was like, what? Most people can't afford that for 1 hour session if you're doing that every week. And often 1 hour is not enough, is it? You're going to want to do 1 or 2 or 3. So it can be costly. But part of the social prescribing is about finding either free or low-cost options for people to do. So we have worked with some of the providers to find discounts for referred patients. So if you come and see me and we refer you to certain providers, you can, some of them will give you a discount to break down one of those barriers, to make it a little bit more accessible and easier to exercise. But it doesn't have to, it doesn't have to cost much to, it's gone stuck now. It doesn't have to cost a lot to exercise. You can just go for a walk by yourself. You don't have to join an exercise class. We've got beaches, we've got woodlands, we've got beautiful natural resources. If we just get outside and get walking, we can start burning those calories, improve and improve our health. But for a lot of people, they want the social side of the activities as well. So one of the recent things we started last September is we've just started a new Walking for Health scheme in collaboration with the Eden Project, and we've started a new diabetes health walk for people with pre-diabetes and diabetes. So it's absolutely free. You can get to see the beautiful Eden Project, and you get peer support, people that are in the same situation as you to support you, and you get the exercise and fresh air. So that is a lovely, lovely walk. It runs every Wednesday at 10:30. If you would like to join us, we would love to see you. We've got some leaflets afterwards. And the other thing we do, which has been running for quite a while, is a support group. So like I said about maintenance, to maintain weight loss and to maintain lifestyle changes often requires support. So if you have a supportive family behind you and friends, that will help hopefully keep the motivation going. But sometimes a little bit of extra motivation can help. So we do have a support group which meets twice a month on the first and third Monday of the month. It's not exercise, but it is talking and supporting, having a cup of tea and coffee together, and keeping people motivated and sharing tips and tricks and ideas to help support you in your lifestyle changes. So you guys are also welcome to come along to that if you want. We've also got some leaflets on that. And lastly, I don't want to end on a negative note, so I'm going to turn this on its head. So it says being inactive can shorten your lifespan by 3 to 5 years, but actually, let's turn it on its head. It's actually saying you can increase your lifespan by 5 years. So that's quite a long time, isn't it? So it can really, really make a big difference. So I just wanted to say thank you very, very much for letting me talk. Has anybody got any questions that I can help with? No? Great. Okay, well thank you very, very much for coming. We've also got a little handout about that Pat's got over there. That we've got about the potential to reverse your diabetes, because it is possible. It's not easy, but with support you can reverse your diabetes. So we'll hand those out. It's just a bit of information. Any questions? I'm based at Wheel Northey with Pat, and Esther's at Woodland Road most of the time. Any questions, feel free to give us a shout. Leaflets are over there, and all I can say is good luck, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.